coronavirus has gripped the whole world. Not only people are falling sick, and unfortunately, many are dying as a result of coronavirus, but coronavirus is physically affected. What I forget the numbers, 200,000 plus people all over the world, and over several thousand here in the US, and of course China and other countries, Italy. But apart from the people who are affected physically, there is every one of us who is affected emotionally and psychologically by the coronavirus. Coronavirus has impacted the stock market, because the stock market is afraid of the ramifications on the economy. Um, People have been, the federal government has asked people to stay as much as possible in their homes and reduce interaction. Restaurants and bars have been shut down. Conferences have been cancelled. I run the Houston Strategy Forum, and even we are affected. So businesses all over. You look at airlines, and airlines. I think it was a Delta that reported that bookings are down 80%. They have to cut back. You look at Las Vegas, that has to shut down. There are so many people who are suffering right now, physically because of the virus, and emotionally and psychologically and financially because of the economic impact of the virus. Now, there is so much stress and anxiety, and certainly if you are invested in the stock market, then panic. The stock market is panicking. Let me make sure. Um, let's see. There is a message. The question is, how do we how do we how do we deal with this stress and anxiety? I have a business to run. I have things to do, and I experience stress and anxiety. And I figured that we should get together, um, and talk about stress and anxiety so we can help each other. And if you don't know who I am the author of a business book, How Cohesive is Your Company, and the author of a spiritual book, a book on spirituality, Happy Soul, Hungry Mind. And in Happy Soul, Hungry Mind, the characters, the two main characters who have a conversation, which is what the book is about, are facing their own challenges in life, serious challenges. They have family challenges and they have financial challenges. And if you look at all of us right now, we are facing those challenges as well. We're facing economic challenges. The question is, how can we deal with the stress and anxiety? I mean, the the situation is not in our control, right? I mean, we can talk about why the virus uh, has been, has has come into the world and how it's troubling people, and we can complain about how the stock market is uh, has fallen. Certainly, the U.S. stock market has fallen um, by over 30% in less than 30 days. That is incredible. You look at the amount of stimulus that the federal government is planning on giving. That is unprecedented, because they're seeing this as an economic shock. We have the health scare, and now we have the economic scare. So how can we deal with this stress and anxiety? How do we make sure that the stress and anxiety does not overwhelm us. I did a post on Facebook and Instagram yesterday, and which talked about basically that more people are going to suffer as a result of the stress and anxiety related to the virus and the economic impact. Then, I mean, the number of people who are going to suffer because of the stress and anxiety is going to outnumber by a large margin the people who suffer because of the physical virus itself. Now that's the challenge, and in life, that is our problem, is that life can be very stressful. It can create anxiety, and it can generate, um, in many of us, panic attacks, right? So the thing that you have to do, and the thing that I am doing, and Sam Sees has thank you, Sam Sees, for commenting. And the comment is, perspective is everything. Thank you for the comment, Sam Sees. uh, that is absolutely right. Perspective is everything. So how do you develop the right perspective, right? How do you develop, let's talk about that. How do you develop the right perspective? What is the right perspective? Now this situation, as horrendous as it is, as inconvenient and troublesome as it is, has some opportunities, right? It is forcing us to spend time with family. We are so many of us complain that we're so busy in life with work and chores that it's never ending. And now we have this opportunity to spend time with ourselves. Now if you have the right perspective, you would say this is an opportunity. It's like, it's like a vacation. It's a staycation in your home, of course, but it is a vacation where you're doing work from home. You don't have to worry a whole lot about chores, and you have this opportunity to enjoy life. But we can enjoy life only if you remember that, not to be consumed by the news, right? So I was going to discuss this, is that do yourself a favor. I mean, we all want to watch the news and stay up to date, but if you're sitting at home and watching the news, reading about it, watching it on TV, or you're reading it on the internet on your phone all the time, whether you realize it or not, it will begin to have an impact on you, right? And it will begin to make you more antsy. So take a break from having to watch the news, um, and all these people who are coming on top, TV, giving their opinions. I mean, that is valid, but limit it. Learn to control how much you take in. If you manage that, if you learn to control uh, the the input of this not so nice information coming into your mind, then you will have a better chance of dealing with the situation. If you're constantly watching the stock market fall, and you may either decide to sell your stocks, or you may decide to hold on. But if you're venting constantly and watching all the red in your account, and you're not, you maybe you've decided that I'm going to hold and not sell, whichever your strategy may be. But if you're constantly thinking about it and constantly watching it, that's not doing you any good. Decide on your strategy and then act on it, and then give yourself a break. Give yourself, it's sometimes we all think we are infallible, right? Um, we are very strong, and so we say, okay, we can deal with all the stress, and uh, we will consume this news, right? This dire news, and we'll keep consuming. But whether we realize it or not, it seeps into us. And so give yourself a break. Coronavirus is a terrible thing. The economic stress is a terrible thing. But look at this. I decided to sit outside here. You look at the evening. It is such a beautiful evening, right? It's such a beautiful evening. At least here, I'm in Houston, Texas, and we have 80-degree weather. Normally, I'm so busy, but this reminded me. I mean, I said, okay, we are all suffering from stress and anxiety. I am too. Let me help others, and let me seek help. Right, we can all help each other. If you have a friend or relative who seems stressed, and we as human beings, I did a post yesterday. Uh, we're not good at sharing, right? We don't go out and tell our friends, hey, I'm really stressed. Maybe women do that more than men, but men certainly are not as forthcoming, right? So we don't go out and share, and we don't want to seem weak in front of people or friends or relatives, and so we bottle it up. If you see someone who's in need, um, help them if you can, because it might help you. You might, by helping someone, it might make you feel better. I am sure at the end of this discussion today, this live video, I'm going to feel better, right? And I certainly, I was telling a good friend of mine, is that life is really stressful. But as I have been doing these posts on Instagram and Facebook, under for Happy Soul Hungry Mind, these posts about managing your stress, these posts about helping others, this post about coronavirus anxiety, it's reminding me, right? I am the creator of the post, but it reminds me, and that is it's the beauty, is that when you help others and when you are able to tell others to remain calm and to be peaceful, it helps you. It helps you because whenever you spread positive messages, whenever you spread positivity, guess what? You are the first recipient of that positivity. When you say something nice to others or for others, who hears it first? You do. You absolutely hear it first. And Sam sees, let me expand this. Oh, stay on the page. And the message is longer, so I was trying to read it. It says, so true, and especially the elder. Um, we we need to spread positive vibes. I mean, we are as a society, as a country, and as the world community, going through some challenging circumstances, and it has come about. Nobody. I remember when 2020 started, I was so optimistic. I was looking forward. I said, this is going to be a great year, and it's only March 18th. I mean, so we're basically 2.5 months into this, and looks like what a year, what a start to the year, right? So none of us saw this coming. None of us who were investing in the stock market, right, had any idea, because stock market was making new highs as recently as February. Very few people, certainly not even the experts, the professionals, the professional money managers, uh, nobody came out and said, look, we're in 1 month, we're going to be looking at the economy at the prospect of a recession, and that danger is going to there, and then the market is going to correct. There was talk about how the market might take a breather. So all this stress is there, so we're going through these challenges, but spreading positivity. So spread positivity with your loved ones, and think positive thoughts yourself. It's so easy to fall in the trap of letting the negativity get to you. right? And you begin to think about, and you say, we all know the world is not going to end, right? But we'll hear an elected official or a government official saying, well, we maybe will have 20% unemployment. We'll hear some healthcare expert come out and say over 1 million people just here in the US are going to be infected, right? And so all of these are conjectures, right? Nobody knows what is going to happen. Nobody knows how this is going to play out. Now, however it plays out, let's not make it worse for ourselves, right? By us thinking, oh, this is going to affect 1 million people and then so many people are going to die. We're not doing ourselves any favor, because we do not know if that's going to be true or not. What happens is we are speculating on the future, right? We're speculating, okay, what is going to happen? How bad is this going to be? How dire is this going to be? And all those thoughts are leaving an impression on us. All those thoughts are making us weaker, right? With your thinking, whether this is going to affect 1 million people or whether it's going to disappear overnight, is not going to change anything, right? What it does, however, do is have an impact on your well-being. And so maybe this is the message, for today's session, is in all of this stress and anxiety, we have to take care of ourselves. I mean, we're going through so much effort to take care of ourselves physically. I mean, you go to the grocery stores and you find that the shelves are empty, right? Hand sanitizers, all the soaps, everything is gone. Why? Because we want to take care of us physically. And we are so focused on that and we are good at it, right? We know how to manage that. But few of us are good at taking care of us mentally and psychologically and emotionally, right? We are willing to wash our hands 10 times a day, but we're not ready to spend the time to wash our minds. And we are letting our minds collect all this stress, right? And then when people meet us, they can see on our face, but we're not willing to share that. We're not willing to share, look, I feel vulnerable. I feel the pressure, right? And we all, as a society, need to reduce pressure because we're staying with loved ones. But if we are all under pressure, then that's not going to be fun. Our family time, and it is an opportunity. I mean, it's an opportunity, not in the best of circumstances, but those of us who are healthy, those of us who are there with family, and those of us who have sick loved ones, we have to take care of them. But we all have to enjoy each other's presence, and we have to enjoy our own presence. um, I want to talk about enjoying our presence and the peace within us. But I see one more comment from Sam Sees, and it says the thought processes are so critical. Gratitude is huge. Thank you, Sam Sees. Also, so many in America with poor diet leading to poor immune system. Thank you. What incredible points. And this last one about poor diet and leading to poor immune systems, that is true. We are all eating junk foods. We are not getting the minerals and vitamins that we need. We're not, we think eating vegetables is a chore. Is eating vegetables is something that we want to push against, and we have this cultural mindset. We need to think change that, where eating fruits and vegetables is something that is we do naturally, and we find ways to make those as part of our tasty dishes. And then so we're not just eating, right, fried chicken. I see the kids, they love fried chicken and fried foods. And so we have to figure out how, as a society, we start eating better. But immune system, how our mind thinks when we are under stress and anxiety, our blood pressure goes up and our immunity goes down. Because when we are under stress and anxiety, what happens? internally, inflammation goes higher, and when inflammation goes higher, the body becomes weaker. So how we think has an impact, and we have to remind ourselves, just like we have to wake up every day and take a shower. If you don't take a shower, your body is going to stink. If you don't take a shower, I mean, you go, 2 days, 3 days, and then people are not going to be around you, because your body is going to be, you are not going to be around your own self. You said this is stinking. But we go through days and months and years without giving ourselves, I'll coin the phrase, a mind shower, right? We are not cleaning our mind. Now that sounds, it sounds like an esoteric concept, but cleaning the mind, and I talked about this, that we'll talk about peace, is that cleaning the mind is allowing the mind to rest and spending some time. It may be 15 minutes, it may be hours, half an hour. Usually, most of us, we don't have the time because we're running around and work. But we have the time now to quiet the mind. And when you quiet the mind, and when you experience the calmness, look at the evening, it's turning out so beautiful. When we experience the calmness, that allows us to clean the mind. That allows us to reduce our stress and anxiety. That allows us to cope with the situation. We cannot change the situation. I mean, some of us who are in the healthcare sector, those who are in government, they're working very hard to address the situation. But the others, um, or most of us, we are taking care of ourselves by, maintaining social distance. But we can also take care of us by reconnecting with the calmness and the peace that exists within us. And that is an incredible opportunity. And uh, we have the opportunity to rediscover ourselves. I love that. We have the opportunity to reconnect with ourselves. How powerful is that? Let's stop here. Hope you all have enjoyed. We would like to do these sessions every day. Today was my first session. So I like to do it every day between 6 to 7 Central Standard Time, Houston or Chicago Standard Time, or 6 to 6:30. Let's keep it to a half hour until we get, unless we get a lot of questions. If you'll have a question, let me know, either now or later. But please reduce your stress and anxiety. Please help others around you. Remind your loved ones and say, look, it's okay. I did a post on breathing, right? um, take deep breaths. Take deep breaths. And as you take deep breaths, you will reduce your anxiety. You will reduce your blood pressure. Take deep breaths. Become peaceful. At your core, you are peace. Be who you are. Be peace. Be peace. Thank you all. Thank you all for joining me. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you, Sam C's. The last message says, "Great advice. Have a great evening." Thank you so much for joining. Let's connect and see you all at our subsequent sessions. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Bye.